I think it's pretty safe to say that by far, one of the fan favorite characters of the Skywalker saga has got to be Luke Skywalker, portrayed by Mark Hamill in the original trilogy by creator George Lucas. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, the thing about Star Wars is that we do know that a lot of fans, myself included, had a lot of issues with how Luke was used by Rian Johnson and Kathleen Kennedy in The Last Jedi. And meanwhile, some of you guys out there might actually like how Luke was used in The Last Jedi, which is fine. Everybody has their own opinion, and that's all welcome, by the way. Below in the comments, you're all welcome to voice your own opinion, and that's fine. But in my own, opinion here, Luke was definitely mishandled by Kathleen Kennedy and Rian Johnson, and it really did not seem true to the character that we all know and love from episodes 4, 5, and 6, right? So when we look at everything related to it in that sense, we do know that as of right now, Disney and Lucasfilm are developing a new Star Wars expanded universe. They're bringing back a lot of Star Wars Legends stories that are going to retell aspects of Luke's life, as well as adding on to the Skywalker lineage, and that's exactly what Bob Chapek wants to do. He wants to bring in a lot more Star Wars Legends material that's really going to change our perception of the character of Luke Skywalker. However, what's really intriguing all has to do with Kathleen Kennedy and what's been happening behind the scenes over at Lucasfilm, as a lot of changes have been made to the Star Wars franchise as we know it. Now, on top of all of this, now that both Disney and Lucasfilm are finished with the sequel trilogy and the entire Skywalker saga, they have been focused more so on the new Star Wars universe as well as the new Star Wars trilogy of films. Now, it's noted that major changes have been made over at Lucasfilm, all due to the new Disney CEO, Bob Chapek, that is said to bring the fans into a new mythology of Star Wars. It's explained, however, that behind the scenes over at Lucasfilm, Kathleen Kennedy is said to be going through a frustrating period since she lost her creative control and is said to have major regrets and is sorry for killing off the character of Luke Skywalker and how the character was used in The Last Jedi. It's noted that Kathleen Kennedy was the one who proposed the idea to Rian Johnson on killing Luke in the middle film of the trilogy, and that Rian Johnson was given full creative control on how Luke would die in the movie. Kennedy is said to regret making such a decision, as it left her with less creative power as the president of Lucasfilm, with now, of course, both of course, Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni having more creative control over the new Star Wars projects currently in the early development phase. Now, it's also explained that Kennedy is still working on the roadmap of Star Wars films and TV shows, however will not be able to interrupt with the creative choices of these projects, thanks to Bob Chapek, who made new regulations over at Lucasfilm to create a better future for Star Wars as a brand, to make it more successful than ever before by Disney. So the thing about this that's really exciting is, of course, she no longer has creative control. My stance on, how she is said to be very much regretful of killing off Luke and is very sorry for killing off the character of Luke Skywalker, it's not genuine for the fans. It's more so like she's self-absorbed and she's only sorry because of where it left her, over at Lucasfilm, having less creative power and so on and so forth. Now, the thing about Kathleen Kennedy, we do know that she's very incompetent over at Lucasfilm. In my mind, I'm almost starting to believe that she did a lot of this on purpose to throw in her own personal agenda to these Star Wars movies. That's what I'm starting to believe. Anything ranging from how Kathleen Kennedy, stabbed George Lucas in the back and completely betrayed him. She promised that she was going to respect his ideas and the characters that he created for the Star Wars trilogy, known as the sequels. And not just that, but that Kennedy was going to handle the future of Star Wars beyond the sequels in a very respectful manner. Now, obviously, that was not the case. Now, when we look at everything related to what she did to the character of Luke, a lot of fans don't like exactly what happened with that character. And you can see that J.J. Abrams tried to patch things together, during that time on Ahch-To between Rey and Luke at the very end of Return, or should I say, of The Rise of Skywalker. Now, the thing about this, Kennedy, we do know that she wants to quit Star Wars as we speak. We went over that a couple of days ago, of how she wants to leave Star Wars, she wants to quit Lucasfilm, and that she has to wait until Bob Chapek gets an actual respectful replacement for her before she can even leave. So I guess that's a part of the contract or something, I'm not quite sure, but Bob Chapek is making changes over at Lucasfilm, so to speak. Now, it all depends on how everything is going to be executed with this new expanded universe that's going to range from movies to TV shows and even books, novels, and comics. I know a lot of you guys out there are a little, have a lot of opinions, if you will, about the High Republic era that's going to be explored in books, novels, comics, and more. I'm really in between on that era. I kind of think it has potential, but as long as is executed very well, we'll have to wait and see. So with that being said, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.